Okay, for 2 years, the entire fight about artificial intelligence has been one word: Nvidia. Is the chip stock too expensive? Is it a bubble? Buy it, short it. The same argument every single day. And while everyone's been staring at the chip, the actual story quietly became something completely different. Because the biggest bet in the history of the stock market isn't a chip bet anymore. And almost nobody's charting the thing that actually matters. It stopped being a chip story. It became the single largest energy and construction project humanity has ever attempted, dressed up as a technology trade. Let me show you what I mean, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's what everyone believes. Artificial intelligence is booming. Chips power artificial intelligence, so you buy the chip makers. Nvidia, the memory giants, the whole semiconductor aisle. And look, that trade has worked. I'm not going to pretend it hasn't. But it treats the chip like it's the destination. The chip is not the destination. The chip is just the thing you plug into a machine that costs 1,000 times more. Follow the real money. This year, the 4 biggest cloud companies will spend around $725 billion building out artificial intelligence. That's up 77% in 1 year, and the multi-year number analysts are modeling is more than $7 trillion through 2031. But here's the part that changes everything. That money doesn't mostly go to chips. It goes to land, to steel, to cooling, to concrete, and above all, to power. There's a line going around this week that nails it. A data center isn't just compute. It's a financing vehicle that drags power generation, the electrical grid, construction, and chips along behind it. One build-out pulls a dozen industries with it. That's why one of these companies just signed a 20-year lease on a single data center. 20 years. They're not buying a gadget. They're committing to a mortgage the size of a small country's economy. And that is exactly where the danger lies. Because you're signing 20-year commitments on power and buildings to house a chip that's obsolete in about 3 years. The next generation makes today's best chip look ancient before the paint on the building is dry. So the durable, boring, unsexy part, the power and the grid and the physical plant, that's the piece that keeps earning rent for decades. The chip is the part that expires. Oh, flip the whole trade around. If the chip is the part that expires, then the real, durable winners of the artificial intelligence age might not be the chip makers at all. They're the toll roads, the power producers, the grid operators, the cooling and the construction, the picks and shovels layer that collects rent no matter which chip is inside the building. The chip makers are the traffic. The infrastructure is the road, and the market is still paying up for the traffic. Now let me be fair, because there's a real risk on the other side. All of this only works if the artificial intelligence actually makes money. And right now, the spending is running way ahead of the revenue. That's why you're hearing whispers that some of these companies may struggle to ever go public, that the financing is getting stretched. So this could be a supercycle, where the infrastructure owners win for a decade. Or it could be a financing bubble, where the 20-year commitments become the fault line when the cash doesn't show up. I'm not calling which, I'm telling you where to watch. Here's the read, and it's bigger than any one stock. When the entire crowd is arguing about whether a chip is too expensive, the real edge is usually hiding in a boring line nobody's charting. The money found artificial intelligence, and it turned into the largest energy and construction bet in history. What proves me wrong? The revenue accelerates and easily covers those 20-year commitments. Until then, watch the financing, watch the power. Watch whether these build-outs can actually pay for themselves. Not the chip price everyone's yelling about, that is the asymmetry. I'm Frankie, and this is the Asymmetric Signal. One contrarian read a day. If you want the full market picture today, Earl's Daily Brief is linked right below. Subscribe.